So a couple of months ago, I had one half of the Shapiro brothers. Now I have the other one, Jerry Shapiro, in the building, also known as my jiu-jitsu coach. What up, Jerry?
What's up? Thanks for having me.
It's about time, bro.
Make this happen.
Yeah, well, you know, you're a difficult person to track down. Not really track down, but it's hard to get you out of the gym, bro.
Bro, I'm at the gym or I'm at home with the family. And then, yeah, I'm at the gym so much that, you know, when I finally get a day off, I don't want to do anything. So, but I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, man. I've been looking forward to having this conversation with you. I've gotten to know you a lot over the last couple of months that I've been here. Everyone on my show knows about my love for jiu-jitsu. They know I had your brother on. They've heard your name be thrown around in the past as I have conversations with people. Because, like, bro, I really do like 3-4 things all the time. One of them is jiu-jitsu. I create content, play video games, and, like, I play sports. That's really it. Like, my ideal life is what I'm doing now. It's like those 4 things. I do that shit every day, and I'm chilling. So, like,
awesome,
jiu-jitsu is a big part of my life.
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome. It's cool you're able to do that. Like, it doesn't seem like you're doing anything all day that you don't want to do, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I always tell people how, like, now I'm in a position where everything that I do because I really want to do. Like, I know it sounds so simple, but, like...
But how many people get the opportunity to do that?
Yeah.
Like, it sounds simple, but, like, putting it into action is a whole different story, right? Like, work out every day. Like, it's easy. It sounds simple, but to actually find the motivation, the discipline to be able to actually do that, like, that's the hard part, you know? So saying that you're able to, you've put yourself in a position to be able to do that is awesome, you know? Because it's just so rare. Not many people get to say they get to get up and do whatever they want all day, you know?
Is what you're doing now what you wanted to do?
For sure.
From day one?
Oh, yeah.
How long you been training?
I started training in 2006. And yeah, I fell in love right away. I knew immediately. I had to figure out how to make sure that I did that. You know, that's what I did with myself. Like, it was my calling. As soon as I started doing it, is what I was looking for. Made me happy. Made me a better person. My head got clearer than it's ever been. I just knew right away that it was my calling, man.
Were you like a scrappy kid growing up? Was fighting something that you were around all your life? Like, did you wrestle? Like, what's the origin story that got you into jiu-jitsu?
So yeah, I always loved roughhousing and, you know, wrestling with my boys. We'd spar, we'd box, hanging out. My dad boxed, so I was always around it with him and seeing him. He did some fights, and so I was around it a lot as a kid. Never really gotten into trouble, like too many street fights or anything. But and then I wrestled in high school. Thought that was awesome. And then I was just a knucklehead in school, so my grades didn't allow me to continue to keep wrestling throughout the season. I did like 2 half seasons. So basically, when grades were due,
you would get cut.
That was it. So I'd get like a tournament or 2 in, a bunch of practices. Fell in love with it. It was awesome. But yeah, as soon as grades were out, we need C's to be here. See you guys next year, you know?
Bro, that's so funny because back home, it used to be the same thing. So, like, my high school, Bryant High School, they had a really good basketball program, and they were really good in baseball, like one of the top schools in the city. And my coach would always be stressed out, Coach Rotundi, because I played baseball my senior year. I never played baseball my whole life, but I made a bet with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, you come out for the football team, I'll come out for the baseball team. We'll just try out. And I ended up playing first base, which is like, it's probably the easiest position to play, I would say, because, like, you really just do like 4 to 5 steps. Like, your movements are very limited as opposed to everywhere else on the field. So I ended up playing, and then I remember, bro, when it was report card week, my coach was just like, because he was my gym teacher also, he's like, fuck, man. I was like, yo, coach, what's up? He's like, man, report cards. I was like, what are you worried about? He's like, bro, half the team's going to fail.
Right, that's what I was just about to ask. Was it you or the whole team? So yeah, now he's like, we got to switch things up.
I'm a career B-. I feel like I'm a B- everywhere in my life, bro. Like, I just do enough to get by, to not have my mom bitch and moan about me bringing like shitty grades to school. Like, if I got 70s, I was like, yeah, let's go. If I got 80s, I was through the moon. Like, dude, I was so bad at like chemistry. Like, I don't want to come off as like this like punk kid. I wasn't like that at all in college, in high school or college, but I did just enough to get by, bro. Like, dude, I had to beg my chemistry teacher to give me a 65, which, like, I don't know how the grades were in Nevada, because you grew up here, right?
Yeah.
So in New York City, you had like 0 to 100. So we didn't have like A, B, C's, and D's and whatnot. So like a 65 was passing. So my junior year, I took chemistry. Bro, I was getting like 20s. I got a 19 on the test, bro. A 19. How stupid you got to be to get a 19, bro.
Just what? Weren't into it, or
Yo, I hate science.
just didn't understand?
Like equally across the board.
Yeah.
Like just everything sucks. And then chemistry was just out of control. So I had the January report card, because usually your junior year is like the one that the colleges look at. So I was getting recruited by a couple of schools to go kick and play quarterback at. And I couldn't have a 40 on my transcript, because that's what I should have gotten. And, I had to I begged my teacher. I was like, I'll do whatever you want. Just let me get a 65. She ended up giving me an 80.
Oh, nice.
Great woman. Shout out to Miss Malone. It's been like 12 years now.
That was in high school.
Yeah,
to get
you
into
guys will be
college.
all right.
Right.
Yeah. But like, that's how I was in school, bro.
Yeah, dude, that to me, like hearing that, I'd be that's amazing. That's work ethic. That's discipline. Like compared to what I did, man. Like if I didn't want to go to school, I didn't go to school. When I went to school,
Kind of just went through the motion.
dude, yeah, barely went through the motion. I was in my own world, man. I just did what I wanted. There was like not much consequence to not do it. I was just kind of a punk and not like getting in trouble. I never got in trouble with the law. I never got in too much trouble. I got in trouble with teachers because I was that kid that wasn't paying attention. But yeah, if I wasn't happy, I didn't do it. Like period.
So how do you go from that to martial arts and jiu-jitsu, which is the complete opposite? Where like you have to be disciplined and you can't. Bro, I was telling your brother this when I had him on. It's the only thing I do that when I'm doing it, I don't think of anything else. Like I'm not distracted when I'm on the mat.
Yeah.
Because I can't be, because you're going to heel hook like an asshole, I'm going to fight hands and not get choked out.
Giant dudes mounted on you can't breathe.
Like I'm worried about that where I don't think about anything else.
Yeah.
So how do you go from you being kind of an asshole in school to now it's taking over your life?
Yeah, it's an awesome question, and it's actually what got me disciplined. Like that's why I'm such a nerd about jiu-jitsu and how it can change. All these kids I coach change their lives because I was that kid that didn't have any discipline. Not just with school, man. I got out of school, I had 30 jobs. I met my wife, and her family hated me because I didn't have a job, and I just you need to be with someone who's going to be able to take care. And it was just I always had my mind set on what I wanted to do, and if it weren't for jiu-jitsu and honestly meeting my wife, both of them are the first two things that I got disciplined with, developed discipline with and stuck it through. When things got hard, it didn't matter. I pushed through it, the perseverance of things. But training jiu-jitsu, like you just said, how you're in the moment, you don't care about anything else. You're focused on that. That's what I meant when I was saying, like, when I started training jiu-jitsu, I liked the person I was after. I'd leave the gym and nothing else mattered. All the problems that you went into the gym with, they didn't seem as big of a deal, right? So like right away, I felt like the benefits of like my mind of training, but just showing up and doing something I loved showed me discipline. And I can't tell you how many life lessons. We'll get into it more, I'm sure, as like we keep talking. All the different life lessons I learned that I took from training jiu-jitsu that developed me into the disciplined person I am today, because it didn't happen before jiu-jitsu. So like what I learned on the mats and all the lessons I learned on the mat that applied directly to jiu-jitsu ended up giving me the lessons I needed to be the man I am today. You know what I mean? So that's what's cool about it, is I didn't have any of that, and jiu-jitsu gave me that,
I love hearing that, because immediately I started thinking about my high school football coach and just like those practices too. And just, everything I remember in my life, like from like that time, being a teenager and whatnot, it all has to do with athletics. Like I can't tell you what my teachers told me. I can't tell you what professors told me, clearly, because like, if you just listen to me talk, you could probably tell that too. But the love for sports and the things I learned on the fields, those lessons have carried like through life, bro. Like this one time I'll never forget so I played quarterback and we lost this one game because this kid dropped like a wide open pass. Like, bro, so wide open. Like the closest guy was at the TV, like deep, like 20 feet away from him. He dropped the pass and I just ripped him to him. Like, yo, what the fuck, man? You just cost us the game, this and that. My coach pulled me aside and he goes, I want you to remember this for the rest of your life. No one feels worse than the person that makes a mistake. And like, I always think about that.
Yeah.
So like when someone does some like whack shit to me or they do some like weird shit to me, I'm always like, you know what, man? Especially if I know the person and I know that they're not a dick.
Yeah, just made a mistake.
just made a mistake.
Yeah.
And I think of the lessons that I've learned, like playing sports, that have made me the dude that I am today too. That's why what you said about like the mats, that's so important. And so like, it's dope to hear too.
Yeah, man. It like I said, I'm sure like, cause off the top of my head, I can't think of too many, but as we talk, there'll be more, but just, yeah, just the, something real general and generic that like I'll show the kids is like, we're obviously all terrible when you first start doing jiu-jitsu. You're doing shrimps, you're doing stuff that just makes zero sense. You've never done in any other.
I still feel terrible.
Yeah, it's just before, like, you go and you play football, you're doing like certain warm-ups that you've probably done maybe just in PE class or something. Like in jiu-jitsu, when you learn these functional movements, there's no other time that you've done most of them. They're weird. Right. So everyone feels terrible. You're out of your comfort zone. It's hard. You think you don't know who's good, who's not. So in your head, everyone's better than you. You're diving into triangles. You're just doing the dumbest stuff, right?
Come on, man. That was a subtle shot you just did.
Us.
All right, yeah,
we, right? Not just you. Most of us stop doing that eventually.
Yeah.
So at some point, you're going to stop. But it's hard, right? It's hard, and you keep showing up because it's fun, and eventually you get better at it, no matter how bad you were. So like, and that's the cool thing about jiu-jitsu is I've seen people of all walks of life, athletic, not athletic, people who have been playing sports their whole life, to people who have just left their parents' basement playing video games their entire life, and they've never played a sport, right? And if you put the time in and you really want to get better, they've gotten better. All sorts of learning abilities or disabilities. Like I've seen all walks of life get good at jiu-jitsu if they put in the time. So the excuses I hear why people can't train or why they're not getting better, it's all BS to me, because like I said, there hasn't been an exception. But yeah, you keep showing up, you get better at it, and then it pays off, right? Like, so just that basic generic idea of when things are, just because something's hard, don't quit, keep showing up, and it works out. You know what I mean? And just that right there, like I teach to the kids, and like they start seeing little things, but there's nothing like it in jiu-jitsu. It's every day, like football, basketball, baseball, like you might have that tough learning lesson once a week, right? During the season. Like you got to deal with that every day. Even as a black belt, I've been training 17 years, and like I'm getting mounted. I'm having to deal with getting out of chokes. Like every day there's a struggle. It never gets easier. It keeps you honest. Just because I have a black belt doesn't mean, my level's going to stay at the black belt if I don't continue to train and stay sharp. So it's just like, there's so many little cool things that like you can transfer into your other aspects of life. You know what I mean? Like, it's just jiu-jitsu is my vehicle, right? Some people like yours, podcasting, creating content, like you're a black belt in that. And if you apply that same exact formula that you did the same things you did to get to where you're at with creating content and applied it to jiu-jitsu, you're going to be a black belt. Like it's the same thing. If I did the same thing and got, went into your world, if I did the same things that got me my black belt, I'm eventually going to get to where you're at with this. You know what I mean? So once you reach a level in something, it applies to everything, right?
Yeah, man. I've noticed that you and your brother, I remember I saw this one, I don't know if it was a meme, but I think it was just someone posted about like how coaches or instructors just kind of show off their belts, but they're never like in the trenches with their students.
Yeah.
That ain't the case with you guys.
Nah, man.
I've been to a bunch of gyms, whether like back in New York or over here. I went to a couple before I stumbled on Syndicate where you were at, which happened by accident too. Like I just happened to be like down the road and I'm so happy that happened the way life worked. But you guys take pride in that. I could tell because you guys are fucking out there with us like twice a day. You're always at the gym, bro. Because I help you with some of the content and like you're just always there.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, it's definitely my life. I'm grateful to be able to do what I do every day. But what's it called? Yeah, we're saying like leading from the front. Like in general, man, it's tough for me. Even if I don't do something myself, it's tough for me to give someone advice, even though we both know that it's the right thing to do. Or it's like
you feel like a fraud if you tell them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't give you advice on something that I'm not doing myself.
Yeah.
So I try and
that's real shit there,
live by most of the things that I would advise people to do, And if I do tell you, I'll give you the disclaimer just because I feel like such a phony. Like, listen, man, I need to follow my own advice. So, I should practice a little bit more with what I'm preaching right now, but you should do this, But I try and just live by that, man. Like lead from the front. I can't tell people to go out and compete and, when someone's like telling me they're nervous and they're scared to put their ego on the line, they don't want to lose, for me to be like, man, who cares about losing? Don't worry about it. Just go out there, have fun. and then I'm scared to go out and compete and not, do it with them. So I feel like there's a lot of benefit in that everyone seeing me go out there and not just win. That's the other thing is I'm putting myself out there and I'm losing. I'm competing against some of the best guys in the world. So my students have seen me lose, and I feel like it's more beneficial than them constantly seeing me win, because now I'm up on this pedestal that they feel like they'll never reach. They see me lose. They're like, all right, coach, I look up to coach. He obviously knows what he's talking about, and he's out there losing too. Like, we're all human, and we just got to train harder. We're just kind of going through the same grind. I'm going through the same grind the white belts are, as the blue belts, as the purple belts, so I want everyone to see that constantly with me and my brother, So I feel like it's important for them.
Hell yeah, man. And it's also inspiring too to see that you're there in the trenches with us. Like, it goes a long way. Because for me, what's crazy is I realized what the levels are to jiu-jitsu when I came out here. Because, like, my background, for those that don't know, like, I started training November of 2019, right around Thanksgiving. And Sergio Da Silva was my first jiu-jitsu coach. And when I went to class with him, I feel like you've heard these stories too before, where first class, bro, like, he put me in side control and he was like, yo, get up, try to get up. I couldn't get up. I was trying, like, and then I got on him and he framed, got up. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, This is crazy. Like, that's simple. And then the first person I ever rolled with was this 14-year-old kid, Joe. He probably weighed like 130 pounds. He was training maybe a year. He was training a year. He wrestled also, but 14 or 15-year-old. And my coach, Sergio, was like, yo, go with him. I roll with him, bro. Just like ragdolled me. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I didn't go with anyone else after. I just couldn't, like, it's like a culture shock. Yeah, I was like, what just happened? And then Sergio was like, yo, one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to show up Wednesday, which was the next time we're having class, or you're never going to train again. Yeah. Showed up Wednesday, and then the rest is history.
Dude, that's a very important, like, fork in the road for a lot of people. It's so cool that you chose that way, but I can't tell many people, like...
That was something I wanted to ask you. Like, how often do you see people come and try for the first time, and then you don't see them again?
All the time.
Yeah?
People are constantly coming through the gym.
Would you say it's more people that come, try it once, and never come back, or come, try it, and then stay?
So that's like... It's a layered question, because some people will continue to show up that next day. But man, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, 2 months later, it's a different story, right? So the people who actually stick around and, try to make it somewhat of a lifestyle. And I don't even mean every day like me. I'm obviously a nerd and I'm there all day. I try to make this my life. I revolve my life around it. But if, 2 days a week is consistent for you, that's all you can make, because your life, your family, your job. But you decided to make those 2 days a week that you can make a priority to jiu-jitsu, those people those are very, few and far in between. But the people who, I would say it's 75-25. 75% will try to show up the next day. Who knows how long they last after that. But there's a lot of people that come in and their ego can't take it, man. I feel like it's a great selling point that I'm a tiny dude. Like, when people come into jiu-jitsu, like, if you are, like my coach, the owner of the gym, John Wood, like, he's big, tattooed, intimidating looking guy. Like, you come in, you get beat up by him. It's like,
you kind of expect it.
Yeah, you're supposed to beat me up, man. Because I did that. Like, there was dudes who beat me when I first started training, and I was like, cool, man. You're supposed to beat me up. Give me a guy my size. But when a guy my size can do that, make you feel helpless, and they're half your size. I feel like that's such a cool, because then now it eliminates any physical attribute.
And there's no excuse now.
Exactly, no excuse.
Yeah.
Like, this is all technique, and it doesn't say anything about me. It just speaks highly of jiu-jitsu. Like, jiu-jitsu works. It's good for a smaller person as it is a bigger person, for a woman, for a man. So it sells jiu-jitsu. It doesn't sell me. It sells jiu-jitsu. If you, train the technicals and focus on the technique of jiu-jitsu, you could get good. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter how big you are. Doesn't matter how strong you are, right? So that's what I think is so cool about it, man.
Yeah, that's super awesome, bro. Because I think of it like Sergio was probably like, he fought at 125, so he was a small dude too. And you would see like some kids that I used to play football with, they'd come and try a class. One of my favorite stories ever was I had just gotten my blue belt, and there was this dude that was outside of our gym, and he was like 6'3", maybe 250, super gym bro. Just comes up to my coach, Hugh McKenna. He's a black belt from Long Island MMA. Goes up to me, he's like, yo, you know, I got the hands, right? I got the hands.
The one-hitter quitters.
Yeah, he's like, you know, if I put my hands on you, it's a wrap. But he's like, I want to do this grappling shit. He's like, all right, man, come and take a class. So he comes and takes a class, and he's like sizing. I see him like sizing up everybody. And Hugh goes, yo, go with him. And he points at me. Because I'm like, bro, like, I got a lot of heat for that video that I put up.
Which one?
The one yesterday about how if you're an upper belt.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to like reach into the bag of tricks. Like, in my mind, I beat you. And you got all these fucking jiu-jitsu geeks that don't have any personality or sense of humor. Are like, yeah, that just means your technique is trash. It's like, bro, like, have fun for once.
For sure, yeah. I saw a couple of those comments.
Truthfully, Jerry, I do jiu-jitsu because I'm 195 now. I got pretty fat at one point in my life, and it's my favorite workout.
Yeah.
I want to get down. Yo, once I get to 180, you'll see me once a month.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put all that weight
you
back
already
on.
did it, yeah.
Once I get to 180, you'll see me once a month. That's why I'm training so much. So for me, like, it's like really fun. And I'm happy-go-lucky. Like, I like fucking around on the mats. Like, yeah, I take it seriously, and I'm trying to get better. But for me, it's super fun. So Hugh points at me, and the dude comes over. He's like, yo, you ready to go? I'm like, bro, I just, like, ragdolled him. And he was getting pissed. He couldn't believe it. Yeah. Because, like, yo, he was like 6'3", 6'4", 250. Had never trained grappling.
Yeah.
And just like, you know, I'm not a wrestler. Single leg, taking him down, fucking mount. Just like doing whatever. Yeah.
And he never showed up again.
Never showed up again, no. Yeah. Couldn't take the embarrassment.
For sure. And his ego, like even in his own head, like he was probably making excuses. Oh, if I was pissed off, that wouldn't have happened.
I see red, bro.
If I hit him,
yeah.
You know, if there was punches involved, I would have hurt him. You know, like so. But just people want to live in that fantasy world. They make that choice right then and there when you're at that fork in the road. Do I want to realize that I don't know as much as I thought I knew and get better, or do I want to just live in my fantasy world and just never have to deal with that again? You know?
Did you run into that fork in the road?
Oh yeah, right. Actually, not right away, man. So like, I started at this. It was like a satellite gym. They had like a gym within a fitness gym.
That's how I started training too.
Yeah, so I started there, and so like most of the people that were there, a couple people who trained or had trained over the years, but like you know, people who were like kind of going to the gym. I did well. I shouldn't have done as well as I was doing. So I thought I was the man. And it was honestly good because it let me know, like, all right, like I have some natural abilities, some natural talents. I might pick this up. But I was doing too good to have just been starting off. And then the people who were beating me were these juiced up. I remember one guy, his name was John Petta, big muscular dude, purple belt already. And he would like tap me with knee on belly. Like he would just grab my knee, grab my head and just fold me like a suitcase. And I would tap and it didn't impress me. It was like, it's not very technical. He's supposed to be doing that stuff to me, you know? It wasn't until I actually went to, so the instructors that were running the program out of that satellite gym or out of that fitness gym, they trained at Cobra Kai. So they finally invited me over to the main location. That's where it set in. Like I was like, oh, like that, it really put into perspective there. It was all technique. It wasn't about me being a strong, scrappy kid that I thought I was or that I was, but just like it didn't matter. I got beat up by someone so unassuming and he did it so effortlessly that it like, yeah, it was like a shock to my reality. And it was like, man, if that guy can do it, like it let me know, like I got to learn this. Like there's something about this. It doesn't matter how big and strong you are. Even wrestling, I saw how technical it was, but it's a hard go and it's only with people your size, you know? This guy messed me up, man. And I was like, God, I got to learn this. Like I don't ever want to feel like that again, you know, or eventually I want to stop feeling like that. But
or eventually you want to be able to do that to someone.
I couldn't live in that world, man. I was like, where I was like,
What belt were you at the time?
Oh, white belt. This is like 3 months or 2 months in, a month or two in, that I finally went to the location. Yeah, I didn't spend much time at that other spot. The coach saw that I was serious, and then he saw I liked it, and I wanted to compete. I asked him about competing, so he's like, "Man, you need to come over to our main gym, you know." And so I went there. And yeah, bro, it was rough. And then I saw like other guys. So my coach, the guy who gave me my black belt, Sim Go. Man, I'd watch him. Another instructor there, one of my other first coaches, Sonny Nahara, I would watch them go, man, and they're my size, maybe even a little bit smaller. And they were just ninjas, dude. What they would do to big people, twice their size, 3 times their size, so effortlessly. And they just looked like they were legitimate ninjas to me. I was like, oh my God, I got to learn this shit. You know, it was so dope. So dope. And it was cool because my coach, Mark Lehman, he was a bigger dude. But Sim, Sonny, the smaller guys were like the gym enforcers. So I got to see like big dudes, like you're saying, over 6 foot, over 200 pounds, just meatheads coming in, like wanting to fight MMA. This is 2006, so Ultimate Fighter is like
Word.
just getting, you know, like it's
Yeah.
gaining its popular. I can fight. I want to come in and fight. We were in this rough part of town too, so we'd get all these characters coming in, and instead of like the big strong dude getting sicked on him, it was a dude my size. Yo, I want to be one of the pit bulls here, you know. So it was just so dope seeing a dude my size, holding the fort down when some idiot came in and just making the person just quit and leave, never come back, or they'd stick around. More oftentimes than not, though, those type of people, those egos coming in, it's too much to like get them back down to earth enough to humble themselves to start training. Most of the time, they don't come back, you know?
Hell yeah, man. That's why it's dope to see, like, I don't know if, like, I still am. I'm a big wrestling fan. It's like Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
He just became a brown belt.
Yeah, so dope.
That dude started training at 41, bro. Think about that.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
you're a fucking millionaire and you're a celebrity, one of the best, like, well, not best actors, but he's had some banger movies, some big roles, and, you know.
Yeah.
He's this 6'6", 280. I'm sure he probably went through some trials and tribulations to start. Barry Bonds just got a blue belt. Like, that's dope. That's fucking awesome. Home run leader.
Yeah.
Going in there, probably getting ragdolled by some like 15-year-old girl that weighs 130 pounds.
And being able to humble themselves enough to continue go back to the bottom of the barrel. They've already made it to these heights in their life, right? In their fields, and they're willing to humble themselves. And it's the same thing, like I said, like they understood what it took to get successful in their other parts of life. And so they knew, all right, I just got to reset. I got to do the same thing. And now Batista's a brown, but he's almost a black belt. That's sick, you know?
Yo, it's so dope how no matter like how successful you might be in your field, or if you're a millionaire, billionaire, whatever it might be, like now you're seeing like Mark Zuckerberg is training jiu-jitsu, and you're seeing all these like celebrities and like former athletes that are transitioning into doing either MMA, whether it's for fun or if some of them want to fight, or with jiu-jitsu. It's like, yo, the mats don't care.
At all. Don't care how much money you have. You can't buy yourself skills, right?
Yeah. Like, you really got to. It's one of the few things, bro, nowadays where like you can't really buy anything with it. Like you can't, not with it, but I can't just come up to you and be like, yo, Jerry, here's $5K, give me a black belt. Like that's not how it works.
People have tried.
People have tried offering you money? Not
just to get the belt, but they think that their money is going to give them like some sort of fast track, right? Like, and dude, like we can spend all the time in the world together all day. But if you're not like legitimately putting in the work for yourself, it's not going to go anywhere. So like, I can't even give that to you. I can literally spoon feed you all my knowledge. I'll give you every shortcut possible. I'll tell you the answer to every move. This leads to that. This escape is for that. If you don't legitimately put yourself in those and go through the dirt road, you're just never going to get to that level ever, you know? And the people who have tried, like there's people who I know, like, you know, not to shit on any, you know, academies, but like I hear famous people getting promoted because they only do private lessons with some big name instructor. There's been a black belt forever. So automatically, I know that person's probably not the most legit. Like if they really rolled with a competitive blue belt, they probably get smashed, you know. But they've put in the time, kind of. But man, you gotta take the dirt road. There's no freeway to that black belt, you know. So like I said, if with all the information that I give you, I tell you how to mount escape. If you don't put yourself in that mount, that bottom mount, and get smashed 10,000 times. It doesn't matter. You gotta take the dirt road no matter what, you know?
That's what's so dope
That's where the
about
pride
Jits,
is.
man.
When you get to a level, it's just like, man, there's nothing that can take that away from you neither, you know? You can't buy it, and then it can't be taken away from you.
Right.
You know?
How quickly can you sniff out how good someone is on the mat? When they tell you what their belt is. Guy comes in and he's like, yo, I'm a black belt.
Oh, I'll know right away.
And you're judging it? Or are you saying like, man, that school ain't shit?
Oh, yeah. Nah, not ain't shit. I don't want to be hard on anybody. I think the sport, unfortunately.
Come on, bro. I'm trying to go viral. I want you to say some wild shit, you know?
Okay, yeah. Like, to be honest, yeah. Like, it sets a bad name for whatever school that is. Like,
that's a real thing, right? Like, if you give someone a black belt or a purple belt, whatever belt it might be, like that's representing you.
Yeah.
In your school. So you don't want to give it to someone that's trash.
I take it.
That
There's
doesn't represent it.
For sure. There's different variables. So let's say there's somebody who's just never been very athletic. They have all the knowledge in the world. They just can't apply what they know. I've known people who are great. They can break stuff down. Excellent coaches. They know the moves. They put in the time. They're not great competitors or something, you know? So there's different variables that people can get their black belt. But overall, if someone comes in, there's, you know, some 20 to 30-year-olds, somewhere in that range, like I'm a purple belt, like I'll know right away. And then I'll definitely know what kind of, you know, coach they got. And sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes it's good. They're like, yo, I'm a blue belt. I'm like, damn, dude, You could be a brown belt, you know, like,
Oh, so it works that way too.
oh, 100%. Like there's some people that surprise the hell out of me. And now it's just getting even worse. Like there's these athletic kids and like the access of information, all the best dudes in the world, Gordon Ryan, all these dudes got instructionals. People are learning and, you know, people are getting better at a much faster rate.
You know who
So-
else got instructionals?
Check it out.
Let's go,
Patreon,
baby.
that Patreon.
Let's go.
So yeah, people are getting better. So some dude, there's blue belts that come in and I'm like, well, what belt are you? And they're like blue. And I'm like, God, crazy, you know, it's nuts. So it works. It definitely works both ways. But I never wanted to be that guy. They're like, yeah, I'm a purple belt. And then they're like, in what, man? You know, karate or something? Well, not jiu-jitsu. It's nuts. I never wanted to be that guy though, but I can sniff it out right away.
Within like how many seconds of you rolling with them?
I mean, the first scramble, you know, first like 20, 30 seconds.
Damn, bro. Because I could feel it when someone goes with me like right away too.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, they're definitely way better than me.
Bro, you know what's crazy? It's not even, maybe I'm lying. Not even the first couple scrambles. When we make contact, I can feel how tense you are. I can feel how uncomfortable you when I grab you. If I grab you, you know, if I can feel you tense up real quick and you're a purple, like you're not comfortable here, man. You haven't been in this position for, you know, years on end. You haven't had somebody grab you the way like I'm grabbing you right now. And like you haven't reacted and dealt with that too often. So you're not well, you know, I can feel just by your energy, you know, it's crazy. And then, yeah, like I said, some people move and they're scrambling, they're moving. I'm like, oh, this kid's got to be a solid purple belt. Like, nah, man, you know, I never got promoted. I'm a white belt, but I've been training for 3 years. You know, there's stuff like that too. Dimitri, dude. Dimitri's a monster.
Yeah.
We were just talking about him. I mean, it's cool being able to say I got white belts that, you know, come over with my white belts. You know, he's not a white belt, but like,
Right.
dude, it's crazy. He just doesn't do gi, you know?
Where are you in the gi versus no gi debate? And I want you to tell me this as not like someone that's an instructor, as a practitioner of jiu-jitsu.
What do you mean? Because I would, you know, I would tell you what I feel is best overall. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah. So
How
tell
to
me.
separate?
So,
I feel like they're both equally important.
all right.
I have more fun right now with no-gi. I like no-gi more. I like the fast-paced chess match, right? Gi's a little bit slower. It's a different kind of chess match. It's all jiu-jitsu, but just different. So I'm enjoying no-gi more, but I feel that they are both necessary to have solid, well-rounded jiu-jitsu. To understand jiu-jitsu, you have to know both. You can't be a black belt in no-gi and put on a gi and be a blue belt, right? Like just get smashed by someone because you don't know how to deal with the grips, or your grip strength is off, and you don't know how to break grips. You don't know how to control. You don't know the translation of control points from no gi to gi, right? Like you have to know it all, and they're both important to know if you want to have good, solid jiu-jitsu. And then even MMA, like if you don't know how to apply your jiu-jitsu when someone's trying to punch you in the face, like you're missing out on an element of jiu-jitsu. I feel like it's all equally important, you know? Now, your goals may change if you only plan on doing 80cc. Is gi very important? Not really, but I'm saying as a martial artist, the way I feel about jiu-jitsu as a whole, you need all three of those things. You need to train all three of those things and be proficient in them.
If someone wants to be a fighter, what benefit do they get in the gi then?
So man, for me, I feel like obviously if you got a fight coming up, you shouldn't be training in the gi. You got to make it as realistic as possible, or applicable as possible, I should say. But for me, man, like the grips, those extra grips are a nightmare. Like I said, no-gi's a fast-paced chess match. Like people are slipping, you're moving. You got to develop different kind of grips and grip strength to deal with someone who has a slippery, sweaty wrist, right? Like to be able to control someone while they're on the flip side of that, someone has a gi, there's all these grips and handles you got to deal with. So in MMA, when you're, let's say, for instance, you're getting held up against a cage and you're trying to get up, right? Like I feel like I have an advantage and I'm able to get up pretty well because I'm so used to dealing with people controlling not just my ankle, but like the pant slit, the end of the pant, the knee grips, all the different kinds of grips there. And I'm used to stripping those off. And now all I got to worry about is a hand on my ankle. It's so much easier for me to identify, right? I got to worry about that much less things. So I feel like the gis help me in that sense where I understand how to escape and scramble and move while you're trying to hold me down with all these grips. If those grips aren't there, I'm out, That's how I feel like it's beneficial. But overall, like I said, if you have a fight coming up, you shouldn't be out of camp, get in the gi, once or twice a week, like it doesn't hurt.
Damn, that's a good ass point about the grips with you trying to get up. Like I never thought about that. Cause I would always hear how if you're a fighter, you shouldn't really train in the gi because it doesn't really translate. But that's a good ass point what you made there.
Yeah, like I said,
You sold me on that. Yeah.
preparing for your fight, it's not necessary, but you should be in the gi. You should know how to deal with it. So like, try and get up with someone controlling your pant. Like, try and stand up next time you're in gi class. Just stand up. Try and get up. Don't want to engage. Try and get up. It's hard, man. If you don't know how to strip the grips, deal with stuff, control. Either their hands or their elbows, so they're not grabbing you. Like, it's just grip fighting, hand fighting to another level, right? With that many more things to grip and grab. So that's why I think it helps, man.
I want to go back to when you started training. How long did it take you from white to blue belt?
So I started, I just basically did no-gi for a while, and then I started wanting to go through the ranks. I wanted to get better and better. My coach told me what I just told you about, getting all sides of jiu-jitsu. So I would say overall, I think like 3 months from white to blue, but it's because I had already done 3 months no-gi, and then did the quick
Hold
translation.
on, you went from white to blue
So it
belt?
was 6 months. But since I started training gi, it was like 3 months. So 6 months, I would say, I got my blue belt. Yeah.
Damn, how often were you training?
Every day already. From the jump. Like, I was 19. I was training every day, at least once a day. Then I started realizing, like, I wasn't training very hard because I'd hang out with my boy, shout out to Chris Holdsworth. He showed me, he was the first person I saw that was, like, locked in, disciplined, knew how to, make goals and check those off the list. Like, I would hang out with him. We'd train in the morning. I'd go kick it with him. He'd rest, refuel. We'd grab something to eat. He'd change, do some laundry. So he had clothes for the night
class?
session.
Yeah.
And we go back to the gym and doing that a couple times. I'm like, man, this dude trains hard as hell. I was training once a day, and I thought I was training hard, like, every day. He's in there twice a day. It's all he's thinking about. He's studying film. He's watching tapes. So he really showed me how to, like, get involved with the jiu-jitsu lifestyle and really get after it. But so yeah, I started training no-gi. 3 months in, started training gi, and then about 6 months I got that blue. Yeah, but yeah, it was, bro, it was every day. Like, I loved it. When I started seeing, like, adults there every day, like, yo, don't you guys got families? Like, I was 19. I lived at home with my parents. Me and my wife did, and I was like, I can get why I'm doing it. Like, I shouldn't even be. I'm getting my balls busted for training every day. How do you guys train? And they're at the nightclubs, the day clubs, the strip clubs, doing security. So as soon as I turned 21, I had some hookups to get into the nightclub, and I can make good money throughout the weekend, work 2 days, make money like I worked 5. And then I had Monday through Friday to train,
Oh, damn. That's a dope schedule, bro.
Yeah, oh, for sure. So I knew from the start, like, it was like, I'm going to revise. Before that, if I had a job and they're like, yeah, we can work around your schedule, like, I had to eat, like, if the schedule involved me being there between both classes, I wouldn't take the job. If I got the job and they lied to me, like, oh, sorry, we need to keep you, like, I bounced. That's what I'm saying. Like, when I had so many jobs, because as soon as things didn't work out and I wasn't able to do what makes me happy, I was gone. Like, zero discipline. It's probably not the way I should have done it. It worked out for me.
Yeah.
It's not something I would advise anyone to do. It's not what I'm going to tell my kids to do.
Oh, dude, on no-gi days, I've told Jeremiah, he's the guy that runs the studio. He's the guy that also helped kind of, like, spearheaded my move out here to Vegas. I've told him, I was like, dude, anytime you want me, any day you want me, don't hesitate. Let me be your first call. I got you. Because I know how to do a little bit of everything in the control room. You need an audio guy, you need a video guy, no problem. I was like, I have just one request. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I either need the 2 hours in the morning to be free or the 2 hours at night. Don't have me miss both.
Yeah.
It's my only request.
For sure.
There are some days, very rarely, where he's like, yo, I'm going to need you for both. I'm like, fuck, yo.
Some sacrifices, right? But like, overall, man, like, you made it a priority.
Yeah.
So important, dude. Yeah, my wife used to get mad at me. Hey, we gotta make a doctor's appointment. All right, we can't, not at 11. It's not 11. Whatever we're doing, didn't matter what we're doing. It can't be around morning class or night class. I'll miss one of them. But yeah, now it's tough, man. It's a commitment.
Hell yeah.
It's a commitment.
Hell yeah. Dude, that's why I started training a lot. Last couple, I'd say like the last 4 months, I've been doing some doubles, coming in like 5-6 times a week with the open mat. And one of the reasons why was because I would see dudes like Corey. I'd see PJ. Obviously, I figured you and your brother would be there for both. But I see a lot of people and I'd be like, yo, you guys are getting reps.
Yeah.
And I would just be so behind. And I'm like, fuck, yo. And also, like, jiu-jitsu isn't cheap. I was telling you this, when I was back home, I wasn't paying for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And then I come here and I'm training once or twice a week. And I'm like, fuck, yo, what an asshole. I'm just like punting my money away. I got to get in there. And then I just felt like I was so far behind.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro.
And then it gets to a point where it's like, all right, now I'm training both classes. I'm still not training enough. there's so much room to get better. I still got to get better. How can I get better now? So now it's like, nah, I got to watch film. My body can't take anymore. I'm already training both classes every round. Like I can't fit any more in physically. So now what else can I do? You know, it's just like there's always something you could be doing, man. And that's where I started like really getting the understanding of how to train properly and be committed to like the lifestyle. You know, it's not just training a couple times. Like you got to be committed, man. The best guys in the world, that's all they're thinking about.
Yeah, it really is a lifestyle. It is a commitment. I know recently you went on like a vacation. I was so happy for you. I was like, bro, I feel like since I moved here, you were there all the fucking time.
Yeah, and dude, even usually on vacation, I'm finding the gym. This was the first time in I don't know how many years that I went and didn't go to a gym. I just took the time off, you know? I mean, like, and this is the hardest I've been working too. Like ever since I started teaching at Syndicate, I'm there twice a day working. I'm teaching private lessons. I'm teaching the kids classes. So this is the most I've ever been working. So it was nice to get a little break mentally and physically. I feel like I was running myself, you know, dry. But yeah, it was the first vacation probably in 17 years that I just took 4 or 5 days off straight. I lifted one day and then, yeah, it's
Damn,
nonstop,
bro.
man.
It's definitely a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And also you're lifting in between that too.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the importance of weightlifting when it comes to jiu-jitsu?
I'm seeing the importance more now, man. I think it's more the older I get, just for the longevity, just injury prevention and stuff. But it's, man, anything to give yourself the edge, right? So if you want to be a competitor, you should be lifting. Even if you don't want to be a competitor, like I said, just for injury prevention and stuff, it's super important. So the type of lifting, I guess, would be a better question. But I feel like overall, like everyone should be doing a little something extra. Cardio wise, like you're gonna get your cardio in your rounds, you know?
I didn't get to ask your brother this, but how was jiu-jitsu during the pandemic? Like, were you able to train?
We were, because we lived together, so it was perfect. Yeah, it was great. I got mats at the house. We were in the garage. Yeah, it was great. Me and him would bike. We bought bicycles and would bike up to the park, bring our gloves, and just spar. Yeah, we had fun, man. Man, the pandemic, that was fun. Like, I don't wish it on the world, but fuck, I'll go back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, it's such a weird conversation for me because like my personal life. So my dad has a coffee truck in New York City, 49th and Park Avenue. He's been there 30 years. Breakfast sandwiches. Right before the pandemic, through the years of just like saving money, and I did really well playing like daily fantasy, like DraftKings and FanDuel. I saved up a good amount of money, like close to like $50,000. And I put it down on buying a food truck with my pops. So we were going to expand the breakfast into like an actual food truck, breakfast and lunch.
Right before the pandemic.
Yeah. So this was like October 2019. We had put the down payment, got the truck, like sick. I'm like, yo, I'm going to take over the family business, you know? My main goal was always the podcast. Like what I'm doing now was always my main goal, bro. Like I would tell my friends back home, I tell my audience, like this isn't just to be funny and silly, because you know how I am, man. I really don't take myself too seriously. I love having fun. I love making fun of myself. I feel like it's good humor. It just makes me feel good, right? Like I'm really not taking myself too seriously. But I always wanted the podcast to be like my main bread getter. But until that point, I would do whatever it would take. I called my dad's job the Dream Supply. That allowed me to be home at 11:30 in the morning, and then I'd have the rest of my day free. Yeah, I would wake up at 2:30 in the morning to go into work, but I would have all this time to be able to do all these other projects. So, dude, I put $50,000 of my own money down for this food truck. Food truck finishes April 1st of 2020. Manhattan, during the pandemic, bro, was a nightmare. Everything shut down. Like, and this is before like the whole vaccine stuff came about. I'm just talking about like nothing was open.
The shutdown. Yeah.
All the office space and all of our customers are like office people, you know, like 9-to-5ers, big salary people, like career gigs. It's not your construction workers and whatnot. And like all the office buildings were empty. So where we were making like, you know, my dad was making close to $100K a year. All of a sudden, 35,000. Like just like 80% of the business just went down. And then our food truck is ready. And the lady that we got the food truck with was like, oh, you guys got to come and pick up the food truck. Now, when we would pick up the food truck from New Jersey, the moment it came off the lot, we needed to pay $3K a month for the financing. We're like, bro, we can't pay that. Family has a mortgage. We can't like take the truck, so we just left it there. Long story short, even though I've been going on for a little bit, end up losing the food truck entirely. I lost $50,000 of my own money, bro. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this story is because you said how like you would go back to the pandemic. My personal trash. I was down bad, really bad. But then the podcast started doing well. People needed content.
Yeah.
And then from there, I started working with the Win. And then from there, I ended up moving to Vegas. So it's like when I talk about the pandemic era,
yeah, it's mixed.
It's a mixed bag, bro.
Yeah. For me, like, you know, I was at the nightclub, or I'm sorry, the day club that I worked at, and then just training jiu-jitsu. And I was making good money at the day club. It was a great job. It was fun. So I was getting by, but like I was just kind of on a treadmill. Wasn't really moving forward with anything, you know? And then the pandemic happened.
Were you coaching then?
I was coaching. Not really, man. I would fill in for classes. I was just at my gym that I trained at.
So how long have you been coaching?
I've been coaching on and off since, 6 months into training. Like, I'll tell you that in a sec, how like I started coaching, but I've been coaching the entire time, like filling classes. I used to have like specific days that I would coach at the gym I came from, but I took over the jiu-jitsu program right as the pandemic shutdown opened. So June of 2020 is when the gyms opened up, everything started opening. John Wood asked us to run the jiu-jitsu program, and that's when it started. So the pandemic like got me away from the day club, shut that down. Me and him, and I don't know, I've never actually talked to John about this. I don't know if it made any difference, but to me, it worked out for us because we would train in our garage, and then me and him, man, I'll go back and I'll send you some of them, but we would post like little instructional videos just breaking down a quick move. I would do one and he would do one, and we would post it up to our Instagram every day.
He being your brother?
My brother, yeah.
Okay.
So me and him would just make little videos real quick. I'd film we'd film, I'd be his dummy, he'd be my dummy. We'd each give a technique that we'd want. We post it on Instagram. So we're just giving people jiu-jitsu, like just teaching it every day, like a daily move. You know what I mean? And then not too long after that, John asked us, he called me and asked if we wanted to take over the jiu-jitsu program, and things worked out. So for me, the pandemic like got me off of that treadmill I was on of doing nothing, you know, just still training hard. Nothing was really materializing though. And then it pushed me into that direction to finally get our own thing going, you know? So for me, it was great. And then I got to spend time with my family every day. We didn't have anything to do. It was crazy. It was like we were kids again. What are we doing today? We got no responsibilities. Let's go take a bike ride and go punch each other at the park, you know?
Damn, bro, that's dope. Cool. So you've been now at Syndicate since then?
Yes. We actually started training a little bit before that. Just MMA though. We were just training our MMA there, and then Cobra Kai, we were training our jiu-jitsu. So we already had a relationship, and we already, you know, it was fun. We were happy over there, but then we made the full transition from Cobra Kai over there, and now we're there full time.
Yo, you know what I didn't ask your brother? Where do you guys learn? Do you guys go and train with anyone as far as them being the coaches with you guys? Or are you guys at a point now where I know there's always room to expand and to learn more? Like, do you guys go to classes to like learn some shit?
No, not anymore, man. Like, I still have a ton of respect, and my coach Sim, he's still always, you know, he's gonna be our coach or whatever. But just time wise, we don't make it over there enough. I just saw him recently. Like, we're trying to plan training sessions. We try to get together more. Just he's busy, I'm busy. But yeah, if I pop into a gym like out of town, I'll go take a class like that. But not as far as like learning, I know how to learn now. Like you guys are my coaches. Like, the team's my coach, you know? Everyone brings something different to the table. You got an amazing Dais. So when I'm getting, my boy Vince has a dope dart.
That one. I'm clipping that one. Even though you wrist lock me like a bitch.
I do what I can.
Yeah, I was thinking about that before when you were talking about like I could show you all the shortcuts and all these moves. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I'll get in a good position. I'm like, oh shit, I got something on Jerry. And then you do some shit I've never seen before. And I'm like, oh, where's that in the Patreon?
Yeah.
Where's that in class? That hasn't been seen yet.
Yeah, no one, comes out when it needs to. Yeah, no, I just know how to learn on my own, man. Like, that's the biggest thing I try and give all the students is like, I don't want people to come in and rely on me to spoon feed everything. Because one, you're missing out on a ton of the benefits that jiu-jitsu is going to give you from going through that trial and error. And, you're missing out on a lot. But two, like, I want everyone to learn how to learn. If I'm not there, they don't like, oh, I can't go to the gym today. Like,
right.
Use your training partners. Nick has a dope Dars. Put yourself in his Dars. Try and escape. You know, try and Dars him. He's good at it. See if he knows how to defend. Like, use each one of your training partners to the best of your abilities instead of going in every day, playing your A game and just training for taps. You know, so me and my brother, we can go in and like, I got something I want to work on. I'm not self-taught. Obviously, like I'm studying a lot of film and stuff, but I learned my coaches, we never did leg locks. Like I came up from like the old school mentality, like, you know, don't do it. It's stupid to do in a fight. People, you'll break their knee. They can still choke you, you know, like just pass guard, get on top, pass guard, look for chokes. Like that was like the mentality. So we never learned leg locks, man. So I had to basically learn them for the team, you know? So I've done it on my own. I've gotten to a decent level at them, just studying, and you guys are my
So
you guys are my coaches,
you just learned leg locks?
like I would say 2 years ago. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah. I got
Bro,
smacked.
that's crazy to see, because like I never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
I would have felt like you were probably one of like the early adapters, or
Nah,
just the
man.
people at the gym too, how good you guys are at that.
Yeah, I appreciate it, bro. It's been like, it's all I've been doing for like 2 years. It's like all I obsess about. I'm not
That's where the game's at now, right?
It is, and then it was just a giant hole in my game, and I don't ever want to be that coach that like, obviously I don't know everything, but I want to be able to give the students everything I can. And I went to a competition and went against this really good, man, his name's Warren. He's really good brown belt, man. And he leg locked me in the tournament, you know? And I'm already running the program. I'm the head coach, black belt, been a black belt a long time. This brown belt kid leg locked me, heel hooked me. And I was like, man, I got to learn this. Like, this is ridiculous. One of my students asked me what to do from here. I can't give him an answer. I was pretty good about avoiding them. But once I got into the shits of them, it was, you know, it was tough. So I just obsessed about them. Just been working them, man.
Is there a type of, now you don't need to get too specific, but is there a type of person that comes into the gym that you kind of gravitate to, that you want to coach? And what I mean by that is it the kid that looks like he's never been an athlete? Is it the gym bro that comes in? Like, is there someone that comes into the gym that you kind of just like naturally pivot to for whatever reason? Like you see yourself in them, or you see that they got some insecurities. Like, is there a kind of person, like stereotype, like the kind of person that would walk in that you'd be like, man, I hope they kind of stick around with this one, because I would like for them to be good? Is it a young girl that's like 120 pounds? Is it a 6'6", 280 bodybuilder, bro? Like, what's that kind of person?
Man, that's a good question. I feel like there's been...
Bro, this is where I got my black belt at. You know what I'm saying?
feel
So I got
like,
some good questions over here. Come on now.
I feel like I've had an experience like that, wanting to help every single type of person you just named.
Okay.
But the similarity that they all had was they wanted to learn jiu-jitsu. Like they just had that want to learn. So the 120-pound girl, you know, wanted to protect herself because she, you know, her job, she has to walk to her car at night and she doesn't feel safe.
Right.
So she wanted to learn jiu-jitsu. The athletic kid that, you know, he's already really good at another sport, and now he wants to take this on. Like, it's just, all I care about is the want to learn jiu-jitsu. Those are the people I hope stick around. I don't care how athletic someone is, how good they come off to be. Like, I let them know, like, man, listen, you stick around. Like, give me a year with you, dude. Like, I can really help you out. You're going to pick this up quick. I couldn't care less, though. Like, how slow they learn. The people who actually want to come in and just ask questions, get better, go through the trenches. They want to go through the trenches. They don't want the spoon-fed approach. Like, those are the people I gravitate towards. And just the people who want to train it, man. The way I looked at it, like, I just wanted to be at a dope place and train jiu-jitsu with some cool people, laugh, talk shit, make fun of each other.
Hell yeah.
Those are the people I gravitate towards. Like, I want to train jiu-jitsu. I don't need somebody spoon-feeding me stuff. I want to train jiu-jitsu, obviously have a coach to kind of guide me, but I just want to be around cool people and us all train together, and, you know, it's a boys club. Like, that's what I looked for.
I will say, man, the vibe at the gym is a big reason why I'm there so much too. I have no desire to compete ever, though I do want to compete one time and win, because the amount of trolling that I'm gonna put in the world is gonna be incredible, bro.
Just
I'm
undefeated.
gonna be like, yo, I'm the greatest jiu-jitsu practitioner of all time. I competed once, never lost, 1-0, highest win percentage. Like, you guys, like, yo, Jerry,
We got to make it happen. We're gonna make it happen,
Jerry,
dude.
let me show them how to do a leg lock, bro. Like, we don't need you no more.
Never been leg locked in competition.
Yeah. Oh my God, me too. I'm kind of getting a little stimulated
We're
right
gonna
now
make
just
it
thinking
happen.
about this.
You're gonna compete now. You got to compete.
Oh man, But one of the reasons why I really started coming more is because, like, dude, all my close friends, all my friends in Vegas are from the gym.
Yeah.
Like the guys here at the studio, I see them often. But outside of the people in the studio, all my other buddies are from the gym.
Yeah.
And like the environment there is like a real thing, like the camaraderie and the joking and all that. But I do gotta push back on you, bro, because you're a hypocrite and you're also kind of shitty in the sense where I was filming one of your classes where you were talking to the kids and you were like, yo, you guys can't be rolling together and like talking to one another. Like, that's not what you're supposed to do, because then if you have enough energy and you're talking, then you're not really focused on your drills or whatever it might be. And then every time us two roll, you're just fucking just yapping the whole time.
So there's a difference. let me clarify this. There's a difference between me being mounted and looking up at you and talking to you, having a conversation, not caring that you could be biting my nose off if you wanted to be, right? Or I'm passing your guard so effortlessly, right? The way I do, effortless.
Even though you got me a new one from Amazon, that's still
Passing
don't
your
work.
guard so effortlessly. Getting in the mount and then just trying to hype you up, telling you how bad you are. That's the difference, you know? So when if the kids can start moving the way I move so effortlessly with the other kids and be talking shit, I'll allow it. But the kids, man, they're funny, dude. I feel like I've had kids there for a year. They still don't even know what the hell they're doing there. Like, they don't know what's going on. They get mounted and they're happy as can be. Not, you know, they don't know the reality of things. Like, when you're an adult and a dude mounts you, like, he's trying to smother you. He's covering your face with his sweaty, hairy chest, like rash guard, breathing in. You're getting waterboarded. Like, they really want to hurt you. They have that scenario in their mind that, like, I might get in a fight and have to use this. Whereas kids, like, they don't give a shit, dude.
They think it's kind of just like fun wrestling.
It's just rough housing and like, oh yeah, this person on top of me. Like, they don't get like why that person being mounted on top of them is so bad, you know? It's like, I'm constantly talking shit to the kids, like, because they talk shit to me. They mess me up too, but I'm constantly like, dude, what are you having a good time about? You're mounted, buddy. Like, you know, it's home for most kids. It's just home, being mounted, you know, and they're just comfortable.
Are you a sports fan? I don't think I've ever asked you this. Do you watch any other sports?
A little bit, man. I couldn't tell you, like, you know, any team I like. I couldn't name 5 players.
No,
but I watch occasionally. Like, I'll watch basketball finals. I'll watch like the World Cup soccer.
Okay.
I'll watch like football on Sundays with my brother-in-law. He really got me more into watching football. But like, I did occasionally here and there. I'm into it more now, you know, when I have days off and there's like a game on, like, it's a little bit more enjoyable. But not too much, man. I can't tell you, like, I wouldn't call myself a fan like that.
Okay.
Because like I said, I couldn't name 5 players. I couldn't tell you who's going to get drafted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't need to. I think like that's a little, like, if you know all that stuff, I feel like you have to be doing something with it.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be maybe creating content, or maybe because it's for work. I think, like, especially now that I'm in this space, like, I only know all this stuff. I mean, it was always my passion, but now I like have to know it.
Yeah.
It's dope to be on Sundays. I'm like, hey man, I can't go to this thing you want me to go to because I have to watch football because I got to talk about it for my show.
For sure.
So it's like a job now. But the reason why I asked that is because I feel like a lot of people that do MMA or jiu-jitsu or mixed martial arts kind of don't watch any other sports.
Yeah.
It's just my experience.
No, me too. I feel like I've had a similar experience. There's for sure some, but yeah, overall, I would say that's pretty accurate.
Bro, I just found out that Ryan he has 49ers merch all over his apartment.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, dope. I was like, I have someone I can watch. Dimitri don't watch fucking football. Shane don't watch football. I'm like, well, I got no one to watch football with.
For sure. Yeah, Mike, John Wood, he's a big fan. He'll have conversations with even Ryan. Like, Ryan, a few people I know that actually are big fans, man, that I wouldn't have guessed. But yeah, it's just never outside of fighting, obviously. But even like MMA, I can tell you like UFC fighters. I could tell you like big names in MMA in general. But even jiu-jitsu, man, like, I'm not always watching. I have like the guys that I like to study and watch film on and watch their instructionals. But overall, like, I'm not keeping up with like the new world champions and who's hot on the scene right now outside of like I said, my few guys that I like watching for my own benefit, you know? The
reason why I ask you that about if you have any interest in any other sports is because I'm sure you've probably heard this in the sports world in general or even in fighting, how that guy has that it factor. Is that the case in jiu-jitsu too? Like, can you watch someone roll and be like, man, that dude could be a champion? That he got that it thing that like is different from everyone else here on the mat.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know about champion. I would say they're going to get to a high level pretty
Like,
quick
can
and
you
have
look at someone and be like, yo, if they stick with this, they'll be a black belt
yeah,
one
yeah,
day?
definitely. They'll be a black belt quicker. Like I said, man, I've seen people that they got 2 left hands and 2 right feet, and they show up and they put in the work and they become dope black belts, you know? So I'm not going to say it, but like, I would say that yes, that person's going to, they could be a good competitive black belt and do really well, and they're gonna get to their black belt a little bit faster than most. Like Corey, my dude Corey, man. He came in and he was rolling and like he's already smart, man. This is a question I have for you in a second. He came in already disciplined. Like Corey, such a good kid, man. He was like 18 or I forgot how old he was. Might have been already 18, but 18 or 19. Good grades in school, really good grades. College courses in high school. He's already, wants to be a Navy SEAL. Which most people, you say you want to be a Navy SEAL. The chance of that to me, it's like, man, I don't even. It's awesome you want to do, but like Corey, I believe whatever this kid wants to do, I believed when as soon as I met him and we were talking, and he's very very smart, just has his shit together, man, for a kid, and it blows me away because like I said, I didn't learn all this shit till I was in my 20s, so to have some young kid like so much further ahead as far as like his discipline and his intellect, all these other things. The kid blew me away. So I was like, man, you stick with it. And he was just an open book, dude. Everything I say to this day, he's already like, he's beaten black belts in competition. If I say something, he just does it. And he listens. He doesn't think he's above anyone. He learns from white belts. He'll constantly show me some stuff that some white belts showed him that wrestled in high school that he's like, yo, check this out. He'll get tapped and be like, yo, that was sick. Like he's just got the best attitude in mind that I knew right away. Like this kid's gonna be a black belt. He's been training like less than 3 years, purple belt, and beating black belts in competition. Like the kid just picks it up, man. He's just a smart kid. Like I said, has his shit together. So my question for you, you came into jiu-jitsu having your shit together. Like I said, from my perspective, I needed jiu-jitsu to develop all the things that are beneficial, right? You already came in with it. You already knew how to be successful in one area of your life. What do you feel like jiu-jitsu has benefited you off the mat? Like what can you take from jiu-jitsu right now?
Damn, that's a good ass question, bro.
Boom, purple belt in this.
Yeah, yeah, you got 2 stripes on that one. Man, dude, anytime you see me training in the gi, just know I had a really good day.
On the mat or off?
No, like, I had an audition with this company. I got this sponsorship. I got, just things are going well. And like the reason why I say the gi is because I don't train in the gi as often as I should. I remember one time I come up to you and you're like, yo, are you all right? Are you hurt? I was like, nah, bro, I'm an idiot, son. I can't they hold my lapel and I can't do nothing. And you're like, yo, this is what happens when you train once a month in the gi. Yeah. Like you're going to have those issues. But with jiu-jitsu, for me, it's like the ultimate like humbling. Like, bro, that don't matter how good my day has been. Yeah. No matter how bad the day has been, when I get on the mat, it's just like completely different. And I've never been calmer in my life on a day-to-day off the mat thing. Like
from jiu-jitsu.
From jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I've never gotten into a fight. I'm the most passive person. Like, yo, you're a bitch. No, you could have it, bro. Like, no, it don't matter. It's fine. Very passive. Now I'm even more calm. Because, you do one of these little darts action, you know what I'm saying? So now I know. Like I tell my buddies back home, because, like I'm sure you probably have friends that you grew up with that even though you're a 3rd degree black belt, they still think they can fuck you up.
I don't think at this point.
Nah?
I don't think so.
But at what point did that change?
I don't know, man. Maybe the more mature they got. But I'm sure it lasted for a while.
Like,
I don't know.
Not even like trolling? Because I got some friend that has never fought, never taken any classes. Like,
trolling, I hope so. All my friends would still, all my friends.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
they would still tell me
I mean, like in a trolling way. Like my friends would be like, yo, I'll fuck you up. I'm like, bro, you've never trained ever. Yeah. So one time they were all trolling me. And I was like, yo, you guys know I could literally kill all of you with my bare hands, right? Like, yo, fuck off, you pussy. You can't do nothing. I was like, bro, I am a trained assassin.
Yeah.
But dude, jiu-jitsu has really made me like a lot more calmer. I show more like, I'm more sincere to people. And I've always been like this. Like I've always been this kind of guy. But now it's like 10x.
Yeah.
And that's where I think for me, it's changed the most, man.
So going back a little bit, like to your last answer of like, if you had a really good day, you went, you'll do gi. Is it because like you're craving like a little bit of like you're having a good day and you kind of got you like
Yeah,
like
I
the
need
humbling
to-
of
yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
today was a good day. I need some pushback.
Yeah,
I need some hard shit
something.
done.
I need something to go south.
Yeah,
like
for
I
sure.
need to go out there, or it could be no gi too. It's like, yo, I have this thing where, like, and again, don't take me too seriously, but I have a thing where I'll dedicate certain practices where I'm only gonna go with people that I know for a fact I can barely get a pass on.
Yeah. You
And
have
it's
to.
like,
I love that.
and I call that my hit list, but usually the hit list would be the other way around.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna go and smash all these. It's like, nah, when I've had like a really good week, that Friday class, that open mat, it's like, all right, where's Ryan? Where's Jerry? Where's Dimitri? Where's this guy? Where's Corey? Where's X? Like, let me go with those people. And then it'll just be 45 minutes of like 3 passes and one attempt at a submission.
Yeah.
But like, yo, I need that because it keeps me like, yo, you ain't shit. I think it's important.
The willingness to do that, not just for your jiu-jitsu game, but just for your ego. Like it speaks volumes. Like I feel like most people do the opposite hit list. Like they had a good day. Let's not ruin it. I'm going to pick the four dudes who I know I'm going to smash, but give me enough of a resistance to make it look good. Like I'm not just going to ragdoll them. They're good enough to give me some fight, but I'm going to come out on top. Like I feel like that's most of how people train. And like the fast track to getting good is what you're doing. You need a little bit of that. You need to obviously work on offense.
Right.
The fast track to getting good is just getting your ass kicked.
Well, I just do that more so for like my sanity.
Yeah.
Like for just to be like, all right, bro, you ain't shit. Just remember that. Like, yeah, all these things. You got this sponsor. You got this audition. You got like, the girl you've been talking to hit you back. Like everything's going well. You need that one. Like, all right, let's get back to the real world.
For sure. It's so important, man. It's awesome. You're like that.
What are your goals with jiu-jitsu?
Man, I have my own personal goals just to keep competing as much as I can. Like I'm getting older. So I obviously like I have a couple big goals. Like I want to win a world title. So I've had my mind on that. My goals set on that. And then competing against some big name guys. Like I just want to keep competing against really good guys. And then balance it with making sure that I'm still holding down my obligations as a coach. Because it's tough, man, to like go all in on competition. Because if I did that,
it would take away from
it would take away from the team. So like I found a sweet spot. I feel like where I may not be competing at the biggest shows anymore, right? Because that takes a whole separate obligation, just like an MMA fight would. But I'm still able to compete at a high level and do the things that I want to do and travel and compete in these different tournaments and have fun and still get to mix up with these really big name guys, but just in certain different settings, and still maintain my obligations to the team. Because like I said, one or the other, if I go all in on the team, not that I'm not all in,
right?
But I'm still getting my training in. I'm training with the team. Like I found a sweet spot where I'm still able to do my thing and focus on all you guys.
Well, dude, I think that's just how life is, though. Like if you go all in on something else is gonna take a hit.
Yeah.
Like I've definitely ruined relationships with people, not even girls, just like some of my friends where I've had to one of my best friends in the world, Josh, he got married 10 days after I moved out here. And like I couldn't go to his wedding.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, I just moved cross country. I owe all this money to credit cards and to like my parents and a friend of mine that like gave me money for this move.
Yeah.
I can't just show up 2 weeks later, be back in New York for your wedding. Like my dad's gonna be like, are you fucking crazy? Like we got bills to pay and shit, And it's like, even going back further, there's been so many times where on this journey, and I'm still like nowhere near where I know I'm gonna go because I know the work ethic and I know like the baby steps along the line. And that's why I also really love jiu-jitsu, bro, because it's like a microcosm of life where, you'll be going 5-6 months and then you'll get a stripe and you're like, oh shit, this is working, right? Yeah. Like and I was telling the missus this, I'm a big like figure it out guy, but I think you do need validation along the way. Like you need to have something where some shit happens that you're like, all right, yo, this stuff is working. Yeah. So whether it's jiu-jitsu, it's like, oh, you get promoted or you get a stripe. Or maybe finally you submit that dude that's been like ragdolling you for 6 months.
For sure.
With the content, it was, oh, this company wants me to work with them. Oh, they want me to? I never thought I would work with them.
Yeah.
I got this person on my show. I got this sponsor. I'm making this kind of money now. Like, holy shit, this is dope. And that happens like every couple of months. And it's the same thing with like jiu-jitsu, bro. Like every couple of months you get some new shit that goes down, or you finally stop getting, like with me, eventually I'll stop fucking diving into triangles like an asshole all the time. Like that's my kryptonite, bro. That's my kryptonite. Is there a move that like when you were at like where my level is?
Oh, bro, I was diving into triangles too, for sure. I was diving into triangles, guillotines, because I was just shooting in, trying to tackle people. Oh yeah, probably everything, man. Those stand out, but yeah, it's just everything. Everything sucks, man. What if someone was good at something? There was just no stopping it until there was.
Yeah,
you know?
Eventually we'll get there eventually. But but with me, like with jiu-jitsu and what you said about with life, how you want to compete, but then it's going to take away from the gym or from the team. But you don't want to take away from the team, but you also want to compete. Like that's just the give and take of just everything, bro.
Yeah, it's balancing what's best for the team and also myself, man. Like if I'm not, like if I just go in all on the team and I'm not competing and I'm not training and I'm not doing stuff for myself, I'm not going to be the best version of myself for the team. I'm going to be a little bit more depressed. I'm going to be a little more bummed out. I'm going to be a little more down on myself. I'm going to start doubting myself. Like, is the shit I'm showing still working nowadays? Like jiu-jitsu is always evolving. So am I showing stuff that, is shit of the past, or is it still relevant? So that's why I'm competing too, but yeah, if I'm not the best version of myself, then I can't give to anyone else. You know what I mean? So that's a balance. And then now I'm even trying to balance a little bit more. Like I've been working my ass off getting to where I'm at, with the gym and, and that aspect of my life that like now, man, I want to spend a little more time at home. Like I'm at the gym 6 days a week. So, I want to spend more time with my family, my kids. Like I'm trying to get away from so much work and balance it out with more family life too, so it's a constant juggle, man. All about.
Yeah. Work-life balance, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to get on Jerry's level with the juggling too. Dude, I don't think I've ever talked about this though, but like, man, some of my goal, I truly don't care about like belts or promotions. Like to me, I think like my main goal is like to continue to lose weight, and also like just knowing that I'm getting better at certain things is dope. But you know what I would love to do one day, bro? I would love to corner someone.
In a jiu-jitsu match?
Nah, in an MMA fight.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
and be like the jiu-jitsu guy. Like that would be a dope fucking goal, bro.
Yeah.
To just like a legit be like, yo, I want you to be in my corner for my fight. It doesn't need to be UFC.
Yeah.
Just like, a pro fight.
For sure.
To have you come up to me and be like, hey man, I want you to be in my corner as my like jits guy.
Yeah.
That'd be so fucking cool.
Yeah. It can be, man. There've been good and bad experiences with it, to be honest.
Tell me a good.
Good is, aside from my brother, but we'll use my brother. I'm his jiu-jitsu coach. I'm out there. He's in a fight and I'm telling him what to do and he's executing it and I'm playing a video game, dude. I'm like, Shane, watch out for this. He's what, we know what pass to hit here. This is what we worked on. We got our whatever code words, and I'm just playing a video game with Shane.
But you're not waiting until he's in the arm bar and the arm.
No.
Is
I give
there.
him a heads up.
Oh,
yeah. This
like
is in competition.
Me too. Okay, yeah.
So
Jerry, I'll be in an arm bar, so it's like extended like that. And Jerry will be like, "Yo, Nick, watch out for the arm bar."
I've never lied to you.
You haven't? Right? No, you're right. Yeah, it was just 20 seconds too late.
So I'm like playing a video game with my brother. Right? Or whoever I'm coaching. Because we have a relationship, right? Bad experience is like, hey Jerry, I've heard you're a good jiu-jitsu coach. Will you corner me in this fight? And we have no idea how each other moves. I have no idea what you're doing. Like, and I've done it because I'm a nice guy. Hey bro, I don't have a coach. Like, will you help me out? The person I'm fighting is a good jiu-jitsu person. And then like now I'm cornering someone who has no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
Oh,
they have no idea.
That happens?
Oh, dude, more than you think. Like,
really?
At the highest level too. Like I've done it where like we haven't worked too much together.
I never would have guessed that.
And they think because they have a jiu-jitsu person in their corner, I'm gonna be able to like magically get them out of some terrible situation that they haven't repped and prepared for 8 fucking weeks like they should have. You see what I'm saying? So now this person gets subbed or something. And they're like, who the fuck is this guy's jiu-jitsu guy? And it's fucking my dumbass on camera. You know what I mean? So there's like good and bad experience. So like now it's like I try to be a little more picky. Like, hey man, if you want me as your coach, like
come to class.
Let's work. Yeah. You got to come to class. You got to know what I'm talking about, right? Everyone has different words and like metaphors and analogies for different moves and positions. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, right? Because if not, let's say I'm like, hey, watch out for the fucking arm bar. Now the other person knows like there's an arm bar available. So now I'm like almost like I could be helping you or I could be fucking you. Right? So like we gotta know the lingo. I gotta know how you move. I gotta know what you like going for. If you don't even like triangles and I'm telling you to throw up a triangle, I'm an asshole now. You know what I mean?
Right, because that's not your game.
Yeah, so we gotta have some sort of relationship like that, you know?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I never would have guessed that that's a real thing where people won't even know you and just.
Oh no, like, oh yeah, he's good at jiu-jitsu. Yeah, if I get stuck in a bad spot, he'll be able to help me. It's like, bro, like it doesn't work like that. You know, I could tell you what to do, but if you haven't repped it and you don't have a feel for the technique, like it's pointless, you know?
Yeah, chemistry is a real thing, man. Like in all sports, like. You know, when I was playing, I used to play in a really competitive flag football, touch football, Sunday league for like big money too. It'd be like 3-4K to just enter a team. Prizes would be like $10, $20, $25,000. And like I would play with the same group of guys like my whole life. So there are certain things and like tendencies that you just know. Like I know this guy's gonna be there, like, you know, a 20-yard slant or whatever it might be. Like I know back of the end zone, I'm always going to find this guy.
Yeah.
And that's because of the repetitions and the practices or just doing it together for so long where, yo, that just blew my mind, dude. I never would have guessed that. Because I always you see the corner come out when you're watching a UFC fight. And like you got the head coach, you got the striking coach, and then you might have, you know, the jiu-jitsu coach. I always just thought that they're all just affiliated with one another.
I mean, ideally, they are. At the highest level, man, like I said, it's happened at the highest level, like I've experienced, I've been a part of, but most of the time, if you know you're smart, you're gonna have some guys that obviously know how you tick. Because the other thing too is not even technical. Let's say in the back, like you're the type that likes to be calm, and you want to be in your thoughts, and you want to just focus. And I'm in here yelling at you like, "Let's fucking go," and I'm being a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like you don't need that shit, or vice versa. Like, you know, I'm super calm and chill. And you need a little hype up, you know, like, so you got to like just know how people are, man. Like it's a whole different thing back there in the fight. Like maybe you don't like too much coaching. Maybe you like a lot of coaching. Maybe you like a lot of the details. Maybe you just want short, simple things. Like, so it's an art in itself, man, cornering, you know, it's cool. Like I've had a good experience getting to be in the corner with like John Wood and like a lot of guys that have just been in the business for a long time and just listening to them corner and coach. That's a whole different thing, man. Like you think it's easy to get in there and just, you know, shout some orders and people are going to listen. Like, bro, it's an art in itself. So it's been cool. I've been able to, you know, take notes from some really good guys that have helped me become a better coach and cornerman, you know? It's a whole different thing, man. It's a whole different world. It's cool.
Damn, bro. The last thing I want to say is the other thing, and I've noticed that you do this at the gym too, and when I was back home, when I would go to Long Island MMA, they would do the same thing. Like, I don't know if you've ever used this term, but like, he's a good role. Mm-hmm. Like, I would want to get to a point where, like, when you have these fighters come in, I know how sometimes you're selective with who they should go with, and for right reason.
Yeah.
Because, like, I see some people go with, like, a dude that's a fighter, and, you know, the ego comes into it.
It's like their time to shine.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get my comeuppance on this guy. Where I've seen you, like, point at certain dudes at the gym and be like, yo, you should go with, you know, go with him, go with that person. Like, I want to get the two things. I would love to corner someone and just be known as like a good role.
For sure. That's how I was, like I said, like the enforcer. Like, I can't wait till my coach, like some dickhead comes in and he's like, Jerry, I need you to go with this dude. Like, I couldn't wait for that day, dude. And when it started happening, let's go. Just a big box to check off on my list, you know?
Hell yeah.
But yeah, bro, just keep showing up and doing what you're doing. You hear that? We're gonna have another talk. Watch.
Yeah. Well,
look back at this.
I told your brother, because I had him on first. If you guys haven't checked out that episode with Shane Shapiro, still getting love on that one. Please go and check that out. Now I had Jerry on. Thank you for coming, man. I know that this is one of your off days, so for you to come out here, I really appreciate it. And Shane was like, yo, I want to do a show with me and Jerry with you.
It'd be so much fun.
And I was like, yo, we'll do that when I get promoted.
Cool. Yeah.
When I get my next belt.
Definitely. Oh, we'll have fun, man.
I know it's frowned upon to ask for belts and promotions. I'm not asking for belts and promotions, but this is content and it's part of the conversation. When do you think we would see you and your brother on a show with me? Like so hold on, right? You like how I did that one? Yeah. All right. So I'm a blue belt, right?
How long have you been a blue belt now?
I've been a blue belt since 2021. December 2021. I got my blue belt, bro, and I cried my ass off because it was 2 years. No, it was a year after my buddy Sergio passed away.
Oh, shit.
My original jiu-jitsu coach.
Yeah,
he committed suicide. And on that day, a year later, I got it. And, bro, one of the happiest moments of my life.
For sure. You're finally legit, dude. That's
What's
what
up?
I looked at. Like, you're finally legit. Like, I had cauliflower ear when I was a white belt. So, like, all I couldn't wait for was, like, some color on my belt. So, like, people didn't stop and say, like, hey, man, you train? And I have to say I'm a fucking white belt. Like, I couldn't wait to just say at least I'm a blue belt, dude. It was such a big step. That blue
Yo,
belt,
I
man.
always, from day one, Jerry, I was like, yo, I just want to get a color, bro.
Yeah, for
I was
sure.
like, the white belt is kind of trash.
For
That's
sure.
why I hold it over Dimitri's head. I'm like, yo, bro, get out of here with that shit, with that white belt shit. So my question to you is, if 1 is a blue belt, 10 is a purple belt, I have an idea where I think I am. I'm pretty honest, self-aware person. We're gonna do a 3 count, and then I want you to give me a number from 1 to 10.
Okay.
All right. How close I am to a purple belt.
10's purple.
10 is purple. 1 is blue belt. Where I'm at now.
New blue belt.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
On 3 count. 1, 2, 3.
0.
0?
No, I'm just joking.
Bro, come on. 0 is a little. That's
No,
a little
listen.
crazy.
No, absolutely not. Dude, you're let me ask you a question before I answer.
Okay. I like this.
Let's say I want to hear your thoughts. First off, what's a blue belt? What if you had to promote? You're looking at someone. What are the boxes they have to check before they become a blue belt?
Ooh, I like this.
And then I want you to answer for purple belt.
Okay.
So put it in perspective. Think about what a black belt is.
Yeah.
And then just kind of take it from there.
This is a good question, bro. This is a really good question.
2 more stripes.
So I think 2 more stripes. Yeah, about to promote you on this one. So I think a blue belt should be able to. Again, I'm an idiot. A blue belt should be able to. The guy off the street, if he was to come into the gym to train, you should be able to point. A new dude walks in, no matter what height, frame, size, doesn't matter. You should be able to point at someone like me who's at blue belt and be like, yo, roll with him. And he shouldn't be able to do anything on me.
I agree.
Having never trained. Now, if he's a wrestler, maybe you give me a pass, but like he shouldn't submit me.
Yeah. I agree.
You know what I mean?
100%.
But I would see it as like, yo, this dude is 6'3", 225, was a D1 wide receiver at Ohio State. Now he wants to do jiu-jitsu. Go with him. Like the size and the weight doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But like,
So take it a step further though. Because we can't, let's say, there's a bunch of people in class, you want to do promotions, but we don't have this to judge. So what would make that possible for you to be able to handle somebody, regardless of how big or strong or their size, off the street? Like, what would a person at blue belt level have to possess? What kind of techniques, what qualities would they have to possess to make that happen? Since we can't obviously make that test happen all the time.
I think being able to get someone in mount and holding them there and just being able to just kind of just side control, keeping them there for a whole round. At that level, I feel like that's what you should be able to do.
So at blue belt, like you have a basic understanding, because this is how I look at it. You have a basic understanding of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have a move from everywhere. You're starting to kind of get like an idea of what's working, what's not working. But you have the basics down. Right? Everywhere. Something from top, something from bottom. You have a sweep, you have a pass, and you may spam the shit out of it, but you got something, right? And then a purple belt. What is a purple belt? I'm not going to answer.
Oh, I mean, bro, if you can't fucking get submitted by the same move 3 times in a round all the time like I do, like an asshole, just fucking diving into triangles.
It's not necessarily true, man. Some people, there's some people who they have a good understanding of how to make something happen, right? So,
well, I think.
So at purple belt, what would you need?
Purple? I feel like being able to implement the leg lock stuff. To at least be able to know how to, like now and what I did was for a whole month, bro, I would start 50-50s with like Ryan and X and Corey. And it sucked because I felt like I wasn't giving them anything.
Yeah.
But that at least made me comfortable enough to now, all right, they have my ankle. I'm not entirely in danger.
Yeah.
Don't
Feeling
stay
more
there.
comfortable.
Don't stay there for 20 seconds because then you will be. But now I understand, I rotate my hips this way. I go opposite. I go into it. Like that, at least understanding it. But for purple, I feel like at purple, you gotta, to be a purple belt, in my opinion, bro, you have to be able to smash all consistently people above you.
Purple, you have to be able to smash everyone, blue belt and under.
Blue belt and under, and like be able to give brown and black belts at least a competitive role. I'm not saying to go out there and submit them 3 times or whatnot. Maybe you don't submit them at all, but it's at least a good role, like what I was talking to you about before.
Yeah, I would say, so in my opinion, it's like Blue belt, you have a good understanding. You got something from everywhere. Purple belt is like you're a shitty black belt. That's how I look at it. Once you're a purple belt, like you have a good understanding of what your game is. You have a well-rounded game. The foundation's set. And now the difference between you and that brown belt is maybe like you have a really good Dars, right? Like listen, you have a Dars that's like your Dars, you could say is already purple belt, brown belt level, right?
Yo, you know what's crazy? I was gonna make a joke and be like, because I've told people in the past that my front headlock game is like 2-stripe purple belt, but everything else is like 3-stripe white belt.
And that's
how
legit.
we get to the blue.
No, but that's legit though. That's what I was gonna say is like you have things that you're really good at, and now you have to just kind of basically do that. Like so with your Dars, you have setups from different positions. You know how to get in and out of the Dars from more than one spot. Where it's like a blue belt has a Dars, a really good Dars from one scenario or two scenarios. Purple belt can see a Dars from fucking everywhere.
Got it.
Right? So then the next step to brown belt and black belt is just timing, more entries, more exits, more setups.
And then would that be
more traps, right?
Would that be encompassing all the moves together?
Yes, their game is like well-rounded, top, bottom, right? Their guard, their escapes, is everything solid. And then the difference moving forward would be timing, setups, traps, right? So like you're black belt, you're just a shitty black belt, but your game's there. Like when you go from purple belt to black belt, you're not going to be doing too many different things. You're just going to have a lot more setups and a lot more ways to get in and out of those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
and then the
totally.
timing sharp. So brown belt to black belt, brown belt to black belt, just with shittier timing, right? So like you can feel, you're forcing less things. You can feel what's going on a lot better in your setups and everything's a lot smoother. But to me, like when you get purple belt, man, like you're a terrible black belt. Like you're on your way, man. You're halfway there. Like that's a huge milestone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I look at like the belts.
Damn. That's dope, bro.
That's my opinion. Like I said, all instructors don't maybe look at things like that. Some people do like strict, like, hey, show me an arm bar from close guard. Show me 4 of them. Show me this, show me that. And then that's the next belt. To me, it's like more application. I'm seeing you do it on different people. You're not just hitting that Dars on this guy who, you know, has one particular style or one body type.
Right,
you're able to do it on multiple people, right?
Right.
So that's just my opinion, you know, and how I look at things.
I mean, yours would definitely matter more than mine when it comes to this stuff. So.
Well, I just mean coaches in general.
Yeah. Nah,
don't quote me on all that for everyone.
Dude, again.
So where do you think you're at? Let's get back to that question.
I think
on the scale of 1 to 10.
I think I'm a 4.
4? About halfway there?
Yeah. Because I think, everyone kind of knows my game now. I also promote it. That's all I do. But I still get them. So I feel like that is, I want to stop doing them a little bit so I could work on like other shit. Would you recommend that? I would recommend. I just went the rest of the summer till September, like I don't do any Dars Anacondas.
I don't think so. You know why? Because I had this problem. I was guillotining everyone for a long time. I had a good guillotine man. And then I stopped doing it because I was just good at it. It got boring. So I got away from it. And then when I needed the guillotine, it was rusty as shit.
Oh.
And so then it forced me to be like,
dude, if my Dars gets rusty, it's a wrap. Just take the belt, take everything, bro.
So yeah, you got to like keep it sharp. You
okay.
gotta, every tool you got, every weapon you got to keep sharp, right? So then I started like, man, I got a shitty guillotine. So now I got to work on it again. But now everyone's good at defending it. So now when I get good at it again, it's going to be that much better because now I'm doing it on people who are really good at defending. So what I would recommend, instead of you stop doing it, I would recommend coaching more people on how to get out of it. So that now they have an idea of how to get out of it. Now you're forced to maybe not to use the same setup. Now you're forced to trick them, set a trap a different way, or figure out how to get it from a different position. So it just expands like your knowledge on the Dars because you're giving them the outs to it, you know?
Wow.
That's what I would recommend instead of like stop doing it. You know?
I love this. Damn, that was good. Dude, this was fun, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, man. Bro. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was
We'll
great.
definitely do it again, us, me, my brother, and you. We'll
yeah. And as always, it's nice to see you outside of a rash guard.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I only see you at the gym.
I thought about wearing one, man. John Donner, right?
Yeah,
should have done it.
Just always ready, you know? I think I'm wearing a rash guard tomorrow at the fights. Like, you know,
just in case, underneath?
Just in case.
Mouthpiece in the pocket?
Hit some shit, you know? Yo, Jerry, tell the people where they can find you, your social media, anything you need to promote. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, JShap, BJJ. We got our Shap Bros page. Also on Instagram, follow Syndicate MMA. Come check us out if you guys are in town. If you're visiting, come try a class. And then I got my Patreon if you guys want to keep up to date with our weekly moves and any other content I'm giving, kind of little talks like this, Q&As. I started the Patreon thanks to Nick, actually. He's been helping me out a lot with that and, helping increase my knowledge on content and creating it and making this happen. So I appreciate you, man. And but yeah, we started it for all our students, mostly for our students to be able to, everyone goes out of town or they have to miss a week because of work, and everyone gets upset like, hey man, I'm sorry I missed last week. What do we do? Will you catch me up? And obviously that's impossible to do when you got class sizes the way we do with everyone. So I gave them an opportunity to kind of go back and be able to keep up to date with what we're doing throughout the week or for the day, or anyone wants to ask me any specific questions, almost private lessons, we could do whatever. So go check that out. It's Jerry Shapiro, BJJ, I believe, on Patreon. So
that is what it is, folks.
Okay, yeah. I forgot the handle, but yeah, go check me out, and I appreciate you having me again, man.
Dude, I can't thank you enough, man. And I know nowadays a lot of people are not comfortable showing love, but I got mad love for you and your brother. You guys have made me fall in love with jiu-jitsu. I always loved it, but now it's like if I don't train, I feel like
need a fix.
Yeah. So I appreciate that, man, because it's a big part of my life. And when I first moved here, dude, I wanted to find a place where I could go and like enjoy. Yeah. And I'm happy that I found that. Also by accident that I found the gym, for sure. But that's for another time. So at Nick Dais 10 is you can find me, veteransminimum.com for all things VM. Join the Patreon, get the episodes early. You probably listen to this early if you are a member of the Patreon. And also, it's $5 a month. You guys spend money on way worse. I know most of you. I know most of you. Show some love. Tag us if you're listening to the show, and we'll catch you guys next time.